Alright. Welcome to Korpse Talk. Me, E the Artist, and Kean Bolger.
Yep.
Famous. We're here with.
Oh fuck, you're here with me. Your boy, hey what up? I'm with love. Walk on.
AKA.
Fucking Walter Bottles. Don't worry about it. Don't even trip.
Alright.
Okay.
Would you like to present yourself?
Yeah,
or would you
introduce
like to be
yourself a little bit.
I mean, there's not really much to say. Yeah, I'm with love. Fucking, I don't know what I do. I'm just a nigga in college. I make rap sometimes. I make beats sometimes. You know, I just make a whole bunch of dumb shit. So like, yeah, that's all you need to know about me.
Former trumpeter as well.
No, don't even say former. I'm a former on that.
out.
Grade 6 trumpet player. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Great.
No other person can play What a Wonderful World. Come on. Don't even worry. Bro, you see me on jazz? And you haven't. Don't worry. This man said former. I can't.
So what? Why don't you throw it in the song sometimes?
Bro, don't worry about that.
Where's the trumpet?
Who says I haven't? Who says I haven't?
What ad-libs?
Yeah, man.
It's never like this.
Man said, "Boop, boop, boop." Bro, I'm trying to make a doo-doo type beep. Don't worry about it.
Doo-doo-doo.
A little doo-doo.
Where's the Miles Davis feature?
Bro, shut your fucking mouth.
Actually, what got you into trumpet then?
Fucking, when I was in Sierra Leone, it was like, I think it was 9 or 10, and they had like a band class basically. And they had like the snare, it's marching band one, so it's either you play the snare drums or you play the trumpet. And little 10-year-old Kareem was like, one of those is a lot cooler than the other, so I just started playing the trumpet.
The trumpet cooler than the drums.
One drum.
It wasn't even a whole drum kit, it was the one drum. I didn't need that. And my brother already played it, so I was like, I'm fucking better than him, I could play the trumpet. So I did. Also, fucking disclaimer, yeah. My car's like a fairly decent sized car, I think. We're in the Punto switching gears, fucking living life, and you can't see this, but fucking E's knees barely fit on the key, and I feel bad. He didn't ask me if he wanted to move the seat back or nothing. We could have done that. We could have facilitated this.
We're in the space. We're in the wraith.
I just feel bad for his knees. That's all I'm saying.
Alright. Let's get into the questions. Alright. So, moving forward, are you gonna focus more on meaningful music, or are you gonna go more for a commercial appeal? Like, do you think you need to survive as an artist?
I mean, like, is that key term like artist? More so like, cause like that's more so why I do music. I do it for the art as opposed to like trying to like earn money or like make a living off of it. And like the reason I make music is because I make music that I want to hear and music that I like making. I like making music because of the process, not because it's just like, oh, I'm trying to like get clout, trying to get like a couple followers on Instagram. I mean, that's cool if it happens, but I don't like give a fuck about it. I like just making songs, the process of like writing a song, spit on a beat, fucking releasing it, and then just like seeing if people listen to it or not. But like, no, I'd much rather make songs that actually have meaning to me than like make songs that are supposed to be commercial. And like, even if I make a song that doesn't have any meaning at all, like I'm making it because it's fun. It's a hobby. It's a fun thing. It's something that like, it's art. It's part of art, and I like making art as opposed to making money off of art. If that happens, then by all means, like, go right ahead. But
what is your favorite part then of making a song?
It's just like, I'll just be like chilling one day, mind my own business, and I'll just like hear something, and all of a sudden my head's just like fucking fixates on like a sound, and then I just start saying words and just like playing around with wordplay. Obviously, like people like Earl Sweatshirt, like MF Doom, and all of them cats, all those people were like real good with like wordplay and like rhyming patterns. Those are the people that like I look up to the most in terms of just like making music. And then people like Tyler, just because I grew up with shit like that. But like, I just like the process of like writing shit and just like funky fucking rhyming patterns, like rhyming whole syllables, one sentence, two syllables in the other. Like it's mad.
So how do you avoid like they say like imitation is the best form of flattery, but how do you avoid imitation? like in making something, how do you avoid kind of all those external sources? Because I'm guessing, like you, like most people, would be listening to music most of the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, the nice way of me putting it is, fucking, I kind of just like doing my own thing, just making things unique. And then, like, the reality is, I'll be honest, I'm just like, I'm too trash to mimic anyone else. Like, I'm hardly gonna be sounding like a MF Doom or a Sweatshirt. But, like, no, in actuality, like, I don't like putting on really, like, much of a persona. I just more like making music. And just off of the fact that I'm making songs, once again, that I want to make, and songs that I want to, like, listen to. And I'm doing it more so for the process as opposed to, like, making something with a goal of, like, reaching so much people or, like, doing this much success. It means I don't have to focus on trying to make something that sounds really good. Because if you do that, then you're going to see, like, all the small patterns of what makes something good.
It's
and you're gonna start, and then you're going
yeah.
to just start fucking copying it. And
I think it comes across as well, like, even just looking through, like, your social media and stuff like that, like, it comes across that that's the attitude you approach it with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can tell, like, not even that it's, like, not taken serious, but there's more of, like, a fun twist to it, and it's like you really want to, rather than...
Yeah,
like,
more so being yourself
Yeah.
than, like...
Like, you go through some people's Instagrams and it's very clear that they're literally just trying to, like, make a big impact on, like, the industry, but, like, they don't really care about, like, anything else. Like, they're releasing songs every week, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And, like, I can't release a song, like, every week.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always making music, but I don't need to, like, be like, oh, somebody wants me to release something, I better go do that. Like, nah. Like, I dropped, like, Punto February, didn't drop another song till, like, September. Solely off of just, like, how shit is. And, like, yeah, as you were saying, like, just me, like, always just being, like, chill. I know most times, like, bar, like, just, like, recently, a lot of times I'm just making songs. I just make, like, I'll listen to a beat. I'll say some, like, random words. I'm like, all right, cool. I can make a story out of that. I like telling stories and scenarios and stuff. And I'm like, I can make a story out of that, and I'll just continue along that line. A lot of times I'm not, like, really, like, saying, like, meaningful things, except with, like, something like Peanut Butter, which is, like, completely, like, sort of opposite to what I normally do. And, like, more songs that I'm doing, like, recently, because I'm trying to, like, get an EP going. A lot of songs I'm doing recently are a lot more, like, they kind of veer off of what I normally do, where I just, like, rap about random shit. And more so kind of, like, focused on, like, more personal things that kind of affect me. I don't want to say, like, it's a whole bunch of sad boy songs, but, like, you can tell I'm hurting. If you hear my EP, whenever it come out, you can tell I'm fucking fuck. There are some tears in there, but, like, you know, at the same time, I don't like taking myself too seriously.
Yeah. Do you think
I
it's
don't need to.
important for, like, you know, when people recognize you for your music and stuff? Do you think that it's important for them to? It feels like you're talking to a new friend, if you get me, rather than, like, oh, like I think Jay-Z put it best that way. It's like when people approach him, he does not have to fear about going anywhere because he knows that the people who like him like who he is, rather than a persona that he has to put on. When you meet people who, like, meet you because of music and stuff, do you feel like you have to put it on a bit?
I don't, like, not, like, really, like, literally, if anything, like, the only thing I probably feel is just, like, fucking, like, my little bit of anxiety. Sometimes I get nervous, but, like, other than that, like, I don't like putting, like, a whole, like, persona, because that's just not me, really. I'm just, like, I'm fairly chill most times, kind of like what you see is what you get. I just, like, if you see me, like, I'm not gonna be, like, any different to how I would be. I'm still gonna be, like, nice and friendly. Like, when I dropped, like, Peanut Butter, like, random people were just, like, DMing me, just saying, like, oh, I really like the song. People, like, I didn't even hear. And actually, it's, like, weird to me, because I literally just, like, dropped the song going, like, oh, sure, it's whatever. I put, like, a little, like, week promo, and I was like, ah, sure. I literally just dropped it with the thing. I said to myself, I was like, sure, my friends who like my music will share. I don't need to do nothing else. And that's all that happened. And I was happy out with that. And then anyone who messaged me, I was just flattered that they're messaging me. I'm already gonna be like, oh, fucking, you know, I'm Top Gun now. I'm a big guy, like, whatever. Like,
big
literally,
dog,
like,
big bear.
I'm a lion. I'm Predator the Prey.
How do you respond to, like, positive feedback? Because we were having this conversation the other day, actually, and it's like, You know, when you're
awkward,
when you're going through when you're going through comments, because you're grateful for it, but like with every person you need a new response.
Yeah.
And you're just like
the amount of times you're just looking at, especially on comments.
Yeah.
Like I feel like in DMs it's a lot easier because like, you know, no one else is gonna see that
exactly.
like comment.
Yeah.
But like I really don't like just like if somebody like takes the time to comment something, I want to take the time to respond to it.
Yeah.
But like if like freaking like 10, 20, 30 people respond and I have to come up with like fucking witty shit to
Like
say.
yeah, different ways to say
Yeah,
thank you,
exactly.
Like, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, bro, fire. Oh, appreciate it. My guy. Oh my days. Freaking heart, fire. 200. It's like,
Yeah, because
stop.
there's certain ones where I don't really get it, but Sanny gets it a little bit, like where you'll get genuine feedback like on your post, but like majority of my comments are like emojis or just like this is sick. And it's like I don't know, because I do the same thing. I comment that on people's stuff as well, but it's like how do you respond to that? Do you know what I mean?
No, it literally, if anyone, I just respond with like what they respond to me. If somebody's sending me like 3 emojis, you're getting 4 back. Like, the amount of like new emojis I discovered off of people just like sending me shit, I was like, fuck, I can use that.
yeah, some emojis don't even relate to the fucking post. It's like, is this a good or a bad thing? Is this a subliminal? Like
3 hot food emojis. 2 car emojis.
speak of sushi. Like what?
Man put 2 sushi and roller skates and call it a comment. 2 dancers with a finger. Stop.
What
That's
actually? What makes you like when it comes to like approaching art and stuff? Like you've acted, you co-directed your music video, you
Co-directed with a G, mind you. Co-directed it with a guy.
What do you think you share in approaching everything? Like you were in Clara's room as well.
Yeah.
What do you, like and how you approached that and how you approach music and how you approached directing? What was the
one constant type thing?
yeah? And what do you think is the biggest like difference in how you do? Apart from like there are different formats.
Yeah. No, obviously, cause like I do like doing like a whole bunch of like artsy stuff, especially like outside, cause like I'm doing like super sciencey stuff in college anyway. So I need to feel my artistic way somehow. So that's why I'm always like acting, doing theater, like writing plays and stuff like that. I mean, like I think the only like real constant thing is like once again, like unless I really have to, like personally I don't take myself seriously that much, but like that doesn't mean that like the work that I put out isn't serious work.
Yeah, especially something like Pebbles as well.
Especially like something like Pebbles, yeah, like especially something like Pebbles. And then like I've written like poems, I've written like stuff about like divorce and just like failing relationships and stuff like that. And like obviously like stuff like that, those things like hit different and they all affect different people. And even something like Clara's room was like real like touchy like subject matter as well, of just like a relationship falling apart and stuff like that, which I was happy to be a part of. My friend Pippa who directed that and wrote it as well.
Big up Pippa.
Big up Pippa. Nah. Pippa Maloney's like I love her so much. She's so good. Like, but like yeah, no, I think like the only like main constant I have is just I want to do as good as I can. The main like critique, the main like critic for me is myself. And like at the end of the day, the only person I want to like impress and do a good job for is me.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like, obviously like if people like it, that's great. But like I want to like it the most.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy. And with that being said, I always like putting as much as I can with stuff. Like I don't have to like make music videos and stuff like that. I don't have to write plays. I don't have to write songs. But when I do, I don't want to half-ass it. I want to have an end product that is professional and that shows that like I actually care about what I'm doing, because I do care about what I'm doing.
Yeah. Do you think you can have that because of the fallback you have in college?
I mean,
like the pharmaceutical industry is like a... Sorry to leak it, but they're coming for you. Like there's a fair amount of jobs in it in the future. So do you think that having like a stability is like a ground for you to actually like fully
I say like
dive into artistic stuff?
I say like absolutely, in the sense that like I feel as though if I were more like, if this say like music was my only thing and that was my only source of income, I mean like obviously I'd probably just be like, you see, I probably would just off of the free time I'd have be going harder into it and like be like working a lot harder into it. That's not to say I'm still not working hard now, like most times, if anything, I'm jeopardizing college for music. That's just like the way it is. That's just the way I am. I always just like put like arts and stuff over music, over
go with your
school.
passion.
I go like my passion over like college. And that's not to say I'm not passionate about college, because I wouldn't be doing the course I do if I wasn't. Like, I love it. I love science. The thing I love as much as art is science and like chemistry and just like the pharmaceutical business. That's why I went into it. But like, yeah, it does help, because I know that like whatever I'm doing this for myself. I'm choosing to do this to fill my time and like to fulfill myself. Like, this is like, it is a passion for me. Like, one of them is like, they're both passions, but one's more work and the other one is more expression. And I feel like you need that balance as well. Like, if I was solely just doing my college thing, I'd be sad. Like, I don't do anything else really. Like, bar like the gym, like I'll just be like chilling at home. So I gotta like make tunes or whatnot. I'd rather just like play like Cyberpunk or something. I waste my time.
I feel like the most amazing kind of part of your story is like how kind of late you chose to go, like how recently you've started. Why did you choose rapping out of like a need for more expression, or was it something you wanted to do for a while but couldn't?
I think like I thought about this as well, like a couple of weeks ago, maybe even like a month ago. I was trying to think of like why I did like music, or like what really inspired me. And like I really sat down and I realized that for most of my life, this has always been like a thing that I've been interested in. Like, even when I was younger, I was always like making melodies in my head and just like making songs. If I heard a song, I think of like a harmony or a counter melody in my head to it, and I just hum it out. And I wasn't really thinking, oh, I'm just interested in music. I thought that's just what you do. And like my older brother as well, he's a rapper, and he's currently in Ghana right now. Big up Skills, doing bits over there. So like him growing up, always like trying to like rap and make tunes. I was watching him do it, and I was like, and like kind of like a friendly rivalry way, I was like, yeah, he can do that. I bet I could do that better. Like, I could easily do that. So even when I was like around like 11 or 12, I'd be jotting down like bars and like rhymes and stuff like that. I think I took like a back seat to actually like writing music, in terms of writing lyrics and stuff, when I like started getting into like producing and making beats. And like, once again, another influence of that was like my friend Shamar, who I grew up with in Sierra Leone. And he's American, and we made like a mini mixtape when we were like 13, and it was garbaggio. It was disgusting. No, it was actually bad.
Sorry, Shamar. Sorry.
It was trash. But shout out Shamar, he's having a freaking EP like end of freaking January, so I'm buzzing for that. But like him getting me into producing helped a lot, because I was also doing music in school, so now I'm putting actual theory into practice and making stuff. So that got me interested in things. My friend Lorcan, he's one of my best friends, and it was his birthday, and for no reason in particular, I think it was 6th year, I was like, wouldn't it be not even a diss track EP? Not even a song. I was like, I'll make a diss track, but because it was around the snow day as well, so I had like made a whole bunch of beats. So I was like, I can't pick one. I guess I'll just make 3. So then I just made like an EP called Fuck Lorcan Kelly, and I gave it to him for his 18th birthday. He said it was the best gift he ever got.
Oh, got that forced mixtape.
Yeah, but literally after I released that, and I was like, damn, I did that all on my own. I made the beats, I recorded it, and I put it up, and I did all that by myself. I was like, I don't know why I'm not doing that more. And that was like when I was 18, so like 2 years ago. I was about 18. Did
you get like a big rush from that as well?
Yeah, I loved it, because I just loved the process, and I was like, damn, I need to be doing this a lot more. Why am I not? And after that, I really just got back into like the idea of like, I could do this. So after that, I started like writing more and like making beats more. I kind of started focusing more on like my songwriting aspect instead of the beats, while still making beats on the side, but also just like perfecting my craft and stuff like that. And I just kept dropping extra shit. I think like after that, I was like putting like challenges for myself. Like I'll just like get up and like think of some random shit, and I'll be like, I'll do that. I think it was like 2019, around like Christmas time, I came back and I like freestyled like a quick verse. I don't know why. I was thinking about like peanut butter sandwiches. And I was like, I bet. And I just made like a song about like a girl, a bad bitch. I cut above the average. Make a peanut butter sandwich taste like a motherfucking savage. And I was like, here, I wonder if I can make like a music video for this in like a week. So like, I was like, I got like, I'm trying to sort out green screen, somebody who could edit. And then I just need to record the song. And I recorded the song the one day. And then I forgot about it for 3 days, and I was like, what the fuck? And then fucking out the blue, my neighbor's like son-in-law, he was like, yeah, I work at RTE, just pull up. I got a green screen room. I was like, that's what's that. I got my friend in college, and it was like the first time I had seen him as well, because I just came into college. I was like, yo, I know you make like freaking, you make like edits because you play Overwatch professionally, so I know you know how to edit stuff. He was like, yeah, sure. So he edited it, and I was like, boom, I released it like a week later, and a whole bunch of people were giving me props for it, and I was like, bro, come on, I got
that video
this.
is sick though, because it's so simple, but it's so
exactly
unique, like,
yeah. And I just want to make something in like a week, because I was like, I need to do something.
And the song sounds good as well, do you know what I mean? So,
exactly,
like, it kind of works together, but then even like, I think it was interesting you're saying about like working on your writing and stuff, because even the difference in the song you sent me just before Pebbles for the music video, and then the Pebbles song,
yeah, exactly.
The difference was so mad, like.
Yeah, like I think if anything, that's like a better like example of just me doing shit that I really want to do.
Yeah.
And then like you can tell in the work when you just like make something, and like even in your head you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm really bad at it. It's kind of like different to what I normally do, or it's just like, it's just not me.
Yeah.
Versus when you drop something that you actually care about, and it's something that you can tell the difference, like.
Yeah, and like it came across as genuine, and I think that's why it did so well as well. Like I was getting compliments about your song. Do you know what I mean? Like,
as you should, because you did a fucking...
No, but like, I always get like, people come to me like, yeah, that song's deadly, and I'm just like, I had nothing to do with it.
And then like the weirdest thing that happened to me was like, some person messaged me, going like, oh yeah, no, one of my friends in college, their friend in Liverpool was messaging them, going like, oh, this Ahmed with Love Trap's pretty cool. I was like, what the fuck? That's me.
Do you ever check your statistics? You see people in Japan.
Stop!
You just prayed it over Russia's
bumping my shit. Yeah. Russia's bumping it, bro. Shout out to Russia, bro.
Those crazy niggas.
Stop. Nah, bro. Russian heads is going wild for Pebbles. I don't even know why. Man, I don't even know how you say I'm with love in Russian, but they just be yelling that shit. Fun fact, that diss track I made for Lorcan was the reason I call myself Ahmed with Love. I feel like I had some trash rap name beforehand. Like something that's just like, I can't even remember it. It's just probably trash. But like I was literally like, I was making like some quick cover art for my friend's diss track, and obviously I got my fake email address so I could get my 7-day trial on Photoshop because I'm broke. So I did all of that, and I was like, oh, I'll just fucking sign it. And I was like, oh, it's from Ahmed with Love. And I was like,
that's cool.
Shit. I was uploading it to SoundCloud, and I was like, I bet, cool. Works itself out.
I think that's always like the coolest thing. Like it's less for you because you're just Key and Boulder era.
Key and Boulder era.
What's it got in terms of your creative process? Where would you usually start? Would you start like more so in the beginning of the song, middle, or like the end?
It kind of depends. More often than not, it'll probably just be like the start of the song would be like, I have like a weird thing where like if I'm like focusing on trying to write a song, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Like I need to just be like chilling and listening to an instrumental, and then like it just needs to click automatically. I'm like, that's it, and I start flowing, and I'm like, all right, bet. And then if it's decent enough, I'm like, all right, it's probably just gonna be like the first verse. I think it was like, I forgot what it was. I was in like a big like writer's block, and I just couldn't like write anything. Some of my friends would send me beats, and like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And then like, fucking, who was it? Oh, it was Ryan actually, cause he dropped Caffeine.
Oh,
he dropped Caffeine, and like, I was just listening to the song, and it got to the outro, and the outro was just playing. I was like, this outro bad. Literally, my top song of this year was Caffeine because I kept it looped like 60 times just to rap over the ending. So like literally, yeah, if I find like a sound or an instrumental that just like grabs me, I'm like, all right, bet. I could work with this, and then my head just starts going. Just starts saying random stuff.
So do you know where it's gonna like end up, if you get me? Like in terms of like any kind of narrative or story. Like do you know like this is what I want to say when you start writing?
Not when I start writing. It's more so like when I write, I'll say a whole bunch of stuff, and then I'll be like, okay, now it's time to contextualize it, and I can put it into a narrative. Like, say, like a song like Peanut Butter, like me just talking about peanut butter sandwiches. I was like, what the? It's just food, and I was like, oh, well, if I'm just talking about how much I really like girls. Hee hee. I was like, oh, you bad bitch. Yeah, and then just turn to me, just talking about girls. Like, it was great. And then even something like Pebbles, I think I was just. I'd seen on Instagram another video of somebody just getting shot and killed, another black person, and it just pissed me the fuck off. Like they all have, but this one just like for some reason I just woke up. I nearly cried.
Yeah, I remember you texting me.
Yeah, I was so mad. I was just so pissed off. So then, like all of a sudden, I was just writing stuff, and then I remembered because when I was 13, literally like 5 minutes from my gaff, I was just walking down, a couple kids just started fucking throwing stones at me and calling me Blackie. And I remembered that as well, and thinking about this shit that was happening. I was like, oh, don't throw stones in glass houses. And I was like, fucking... And I just kept going from there. I was like, I guess I'm doing this now.
So do you think that kind of like, that gel of experience and what you see happening is what kind of like makes you... Like in terms of like, for example, with Peanut Butter, like connecting like your love for sandwiches with women. Like, do you think it's purely just like how well you can gel things together is what makes your...
Yeah, that's it. Because I'll just come up with like dumb... I'll just come up with dumb ideas. I'll just say like one bar and I'm like, okay, I'll make a song out of it. Like, I made peanut butter. I had not a peanut butter sandwich in like 10 years. I haven't had a peanut butter sandwich since I was like 6. Like,
have you had one since the song?
No. The closest I had to peanut butter is when my mom makes like fucking peanut butter stew in Sierra Leone. Oh, bang. Shout out my mom, bro. Shout out how I see like Tommy. Is this turned up? I bet. Why is that going dim? Okay, I'm getting distracted.
Start the car maybe. Just to thing. Just so your battery doesn't run.
Oh, wizard. Who taught you that?
He's the only one that doesn't drive.
How important do you think actually you're like being someone from Sierra Leone? How much of that is in your music's DNA, and anything you do is kind of the DNA of it?
I mean, in terms of like directly, I wouldn't say that like I'm directly like putting it out there and kind of just like addressing it. Not because like I'm ashamed, it's just it hasn't like come up. Yeah. Obviously there's still like some songs I've been working on now that just haven't been released, or it's like a lot more like not like focused, but like you can see like the experience come up. I think it's more so just like the way by which I make music, where it's just a lot of times spur of the moment stuff. It's never just like me sitting down and saying this is what the song's gonna be about. Yeah. It's normally I'll say words and then it just turns out to be that.
Yeah.
And more often not, it just like doesn't come through. Like there are songs where I'm literally just like talking about like me just like eating food my mom makes, eating like fried rice. I like my rice with the Maggi stock cube and all that. Like, you know, repping the ting. But like, yeah, it is real important to like not forget your roots. Like I feel like a lot of people always do that. And like I was fortunate enough because from the age of 9 to 13, I lived in Sierra Leone for 4 years. And like, that was the best time of my life. Like I needed that. So like, yeah, I spent 4 years in Sierra Leone and I needed that. Cause like, it made me the person I am today. And it also it gets you out of this like bubble that a lot of people are in because they don't experience a life and a culture other than the one they've grown up in. And that messes you up real bad. You're not supposed to be so isolated in one way of living. Like, you take so much stuff for granted. Like, the amount of times when I was in Sierra Leone, I didn't have no water, I didn't have no electricity or nothing. Like, it was rough. And I'm not even like, I'm super well off over there. And like, it's still the shock. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it, in terms of just like how it connects to like my music, it's more so just that because I know that like I don't need to like specifically like rep one thing, or I don't have like one specific like
Something to base it off, like you have.
Yeah, one specific thing to base it off. It kind of gives me more freedom because I'm just more like I'm not just about this one place. I'm not just about this one place. I love them all, but also just about like whatever's in my head.
Yeah.
All the time I spent in Sierra Leone, a lot of time I spent just like self-reflecting. I was a loner as a kid.
Yeah.
For like first 3 years, I'd just be staying in my house doing my homework. You ever memorize an atlas? That's trash. That's trash. So a lot of times just spending in my head, which was good because now, unlike a lot of people, like I can read myself a lot better. And as a result, like I know that like I don't need to like put on a front to impress this demographic or person or this demographic.
Yeah.
It just allows me to be more free and just do whatever I want to do.
So like culturally in who you are like as a person today, what has Sierra Leone and Ireland, what has like the main thing that they've each individually given you, if you get me? The most important aspects of who you think, you are, sorry.
That's like fairly tough. Because obviously, like, I identify as both. I'm Irish and I'm Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
I'm Sierra Leone and I'm Irish. I'm one by birth, the other by blood. But, like, I feel like it's just kind of like living in, like, Sierra Leone and just, like, kind of in, like, a weird way getting, like, a lot of stuff you didn't care about, you took for granted, just being taken away from you.
Yeah.
It really helps you just, like, appreciate everything you have. And it just, like, it's also the friendliness. Sierra Leone's one of the most, like, Ireland and Sierra Leone are super friendly, which is what I love about both of them. And, like, Sierra Leone just has that whole, like, camaraderie. Like, everyone in the neighborhood knows everyone. Like, people just walk in and out of each other's houses. Like, it's all chill, it's all calm. And it's, like, I love that, like, camaraderie and friendship. Like, they're just living over there, just, like, made me realize, like, there's, like, no need to, like, be, like, so segregated and just, like, not, like, you know, love thy neighbor and all of that.
Do you think that's what's missing here, kind of? Like, people are separated by gender, class, age, this, and, like, it seems like it's everybody against everybody else.
It always is. And obviously, like, with all, like, a lot of issues going on, like, in terms of, like, gender equality and in terms of just, like, the way we treat the poor and the homeless and all of that, like, there's just, like, a lot of, like, there's a lot of prejudice. There's a lot of prejudice in Ireland, which I don't like, especially because one thing I learned when going in, like, living in Sierra Leone, a lot of times, like, Irish people and just people in the first world in general never know how well they have it.
Yeah.
They never know how well they have it. And then, like, they're either making much ado about nothing, or they're just, like, not being grateful for the things they have. And that's one thing that I appreciate. I'm grateful for every little thing that I have. And I'm grateful for, like, all the opportunities and liberties that I'm able to take, because I know how it feels to not have said liberties and for shit to be, like, very difficult. Like.
So do you think that kind of, like how people are, since people have so much, like, people don't have stuff to worry about as much, they find it easier to actually, like, do you think there is, like, more brotherhood naturally in poverty and in, like, worse circumstances? Do you think people find it so easy to hate one another because they don't have to worry, oh, this person could help me get this?
It's like a weird thing of, like, if you have like everything, if you have, like, the access to everything, and, like, life is in relative terms good for you, it's in human nature to conflict, and you have to find something to conflict, to fight. And I feel that the fact that people have all of these stuff in their possession just means that they have to find something to get mad about, they have to find something to hate, something to cause an issue with, because they don't have, like, real issue in their heart, so to speak. Like, you'll see, like, people in, like, Sierra Leone, like, who have really nothing, and they're just happy. They're just happy to be around. They're just happy because, like, stuff can always get worse. They're just optimistic.
Alive.
They're alive. A day's coming along. It's all good, like. And that's what I like. And then, like, I think it's just a mindset.
Yeah.
You just like it's the mindset of just like because you have so much, you kind of expect to have more, and then when you don't have it, since you're not used to that feeling of not having something, then you're just like, oh rats, this fucking sucks. I hate it here. But like in a place where getting stuff is few and far between, and it's harder, and you have to work harder for things, you appreciate them all more, and you're just grateful for the stuff you do have, as opposed to envious of the stuff you don't have. Like, it's mad. Like, I had one of my uncles who was also, he always, like, living life with, like, a smile on his face. And, like, he literally, like, I think he got into, like, a bike incident, and, like, his leg got cut a little bit, and just because of the way shit was over there, he was, on my mom's side, he was in Guinea, not Sierra Leone. Because of the way stuff was, couldn't get proper treatment, got infected, rest in peace. Like, he's just gone. But not once was he, like, mad about it or, like upset or anything, or just, like, mad that he didn't have the opportunity. If anything, he was just grateful that he was alive from the accident.
Every day was a treasure.
And the fact that he would just keep going every day is just what made him happy. And stuff like that is just, like, kind of like what you need to focus on, if you ask me. Like, I'm much more optimistic than pessimistic. Because, like, there's no need to be pessimistic. It doesn't, focusing on the negative does not solve anything, realistically.
Even reflecting on stuff that I make and stuff that we all make, it's like whenever anything is like we critique something, it's like that's even from like a privileged enough standpoint.
Exactly.
It's like, sure, we're not the richest people in Ireland, we're not the richest people in the world, but like look at the amount of people who can't even, like the amount of, I always think that if we gave everybody in the world the same access to art, the poorest people would make the greatest stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like that level of like, because it's suffering kind of beyond anything internal. It's like the whole world is literally against you. And even just to get day by day with that is like the amount of stories you could hear, the amount of, I don't know, it's phenomenal to me that.
No, it's fair. Like, I think some of the greatest art comes from, like, struggle. It comes from just, like, strong feeling of any regard. Like, like when I made Pebbles, I had strong feelings, and that's why I made it, and that's why it turned out the way it did. There's songs that I've written about, like, breakups and stuff like that, and even though they're just, like, kind of, like, smaller in regards to, like, the grand scheme of things, like, to me, it's a big part of my life. I went through, like, a real, like, sad breakup, and I, like, the fact that I had an outlet of creativity really helped me through it. Like, I remember, like, literally, I think 2 days after the fact, when it really hit me, like, to stop myself from just doing what I was normally doing and just, like, staying in bed and crying and shit, I just, like, wrote, like, 2 songs, and that shit helped. That shit helped immensely. Like, it helps to get that stuff out in a creative outlet. But, like, like, the greatest stuff come out of just, like, you having a strong, just, like, passion for something, be it what you're telling or what you're making or how you're making it. I feel like that's where you get, like, the best gems from.
Like, it's kind of a superpower, I think, to have, like, a creative outlet, because then it's like, if you didn't have that, how would you express yourself? Because no matter how much you tell people in words, being able to say it in many different forms gives you, like, so much more, like, liberation from it.
That's the mad thing about, like, emotions and all of that. Like, you can always just, like, say something, but, like, the fact that, like, I can make a song or, like, a prose or a poem or some form of art and not even directly, like, mention what the issue is, but just through the art, another person can understand and, like, relate to it. Yeah. That's an amazing feeling. That's an amazing, like, thing to have. There's some freaky fucks that don't like music, and it scares me. There are people who just, like, I remember somebody was like, I could go my whole life without music, and I straight up, like, said I could go my whole life without you. Like, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? Like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
I've never understood that.
It does not
make
any
no sense at all. Like, even I remember there was a guy in my primary school that was like that, and I was like, what age are you in primary? Like 10, 11, and he's talking about, like, I don't know what I was listening to, like some dumb stuff, but, like,
at least you're listening to stuff.
Probably, like, honestly, like Skrillex or something.
Yeah, don't diss Skrillex.
But he was like, I was like, oh, what's your favourite song? He's like, no, I have one. I was like, but like one of them, like, what's your favorite song? He's like, yeah, I don't really listen to music. I was like, what do you mean you don't?
He's
how do you not
he's a
listen
serial
to
killer.
music?
He's an actual
Yeah,
serial. No, that's what it
serial
is.
killer, yeah.
That's what it is. You're not right. I don't want to hate on people who don't like music, but like, what the fuck are you watching this for? Get out. Like, go.
How do you guys feel, actually? I was having this discussion earlier with somebody from my college. Kind of living in the middle, like, not, like, for example, you.
Yeah.
And how much rap music and like black art has influenced you.
Yeah.
And then you not being like, oh, stereotypical black person that you'd see in like the media and such.
Like, literally, you can't tell, but like, this car is like a couple, like, doors away from my house. Like, I live with white people. I live in like my friend's house. I live with like a nice white family. I have a guardian who I call my white mom. Like
how would you kind of, do you feel like that outcasts you, or it helps you? Like, do you feel like that individualism of living in the middle and not caring about like kind of racial boundaries of yourself and the class that you were born into, do you think that has helped you more so than it has like?
I think it helps. I think because you just relate to more people and you understand other people's stuff. Like, even like when you're talking about like Sierra Leone and stuff like that, like I've obviously never experienced anything like that, but you're able to, like, if not relate to it, you can understand it and see exactly where they're coming from and take from it. Like, you can still take from it even if never having experienced it, just because you are in the middle and you do kind of understand every part of it. I think it helps an awful lot. Like, it helps you. Because I could probably go to a rugby match. I'm not into rugby, but I could probably go to a rugby match and talk to the people who like people from really posh areas and have a good conversation with them, and then same thing, go and have a really good conversation with someone who's not privileged whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm probably like, out of the three of us, the most privileged, but I just like kind of don't really take from either of it. Like, I don't know, like, obviously, like, being able to, like, have a laptop and have a camera and all of that is a privilege in itself, but, oh, we're gone, okay. But yeah, what was I saying?
Like, kind of that,
yeah, no, I think overall it helps massively, especially when you're, like, working with other people.
Yeah, I feel like that appreciation of human experience is kind of the most important thing. Like, to be, like, be at first relative to people, like, give them kind of a benefit of the doubt. It's like, if somebody's culture doesn't agree with yours, try and see why.
Exactly.
Because for as much reasons that you have to believe something, so do they.
Yeah, that's
on the other side. Yeah,
that's a big point. Like, I that's a big point of like why I feel it important to travel the country, and not even travel the country, travel within your own country and even within your own city. Cause like a lot of times, like, whatever you consider is norm and what you consider the normal, that's not the normal. That's just what you've been brought up to believe is the normal. And the fact that you don't go out there and look at other people's normals and look at other people's like points of interest and what they see, it just makes you more closed-minded without you even knowing. Like, obviously, I'm fucking like, I'm lucky that I've had like the experience between like living third world country and then living in like Southside Dublin in a fairly like nice enough area, like, because like there are people on like both regards like that don't understand like the different ways of life, and like even within like Dublin, like there is a whole like elitism from like people around the south side. Like, obviously, I love like traveling a whole bunch. Like, most of my friends, or at least a good chunk of my friends, live up in the north side. Just off of like just like college and drama and stuff like that. But then like I have like people like who are like in my school, and then like I also have like a whole bunch of Southside friends, of course, because that's where I live. But like the fact that a good few people have never gone to the north side, that's mad. No, that's mad. And then like there are people going like, oh, I don't think there's like, you know, like there are like, no, I've never seen like that many like black people in Dublin ever. And I was like, no, you haven't seen that many black people because you're in the south side. Like, I was really just like, there are schools where it's like predominantly not white. You're like, yeah, well, like what country? It's like, what country? Like,
my school was like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas like the exact opposite, I went to New Park and there was like fucking 4 of us in a whole school. Yeah. And then 2 left when I the year before mine. It was me. And then someone else in my year said 2 other people as well. Like,
that was the maddest thing for me. Like, I went to school, like primary school in Balbriggan, and then I went to secondary school in Balbriggan until 3rd year. And it was like it was pretty mixed. But then I moved to a school in Whitehall in 4th year for running and stuff like that, and there was one mixed guy in my year, and everyone else is like, pretty much everyone else is white. Like it was so weird to me to see that.
No, that's mad. No, and that's why like I used to always feel, especially when I was younger, and I'll catch myself doing it sometimes still because I'm human. But sometimes I'll always just be sitting down going like, fuck, I feel like it's the song Chum by Earl Sweatshirt, where he goes too black for the white kids and too white for the blacks. That shit hits me so fucking hard, solely because of just like things outside of my own control. I feel that like I don't belong in either sometimes because I'd spent so much time in Sierra Leone. When I come back, I'm doing shit that I just don't get. There are things that like I just don't like understand, and then like vice versa because I'm like I'll say it, fairly westernized. Sometimes when I go over there, people go like, "Oh, you're acting like real white and shit like that." But like that's kind of damaging, and it's kind of dumb because it's implying that like there's a certain criteria to be either or, which is just a damaging mentality. Like I don't need to like prove my blackness to anyone. Like the fact that I'm black means that like I'm black. Like I don't need to like prove it just out like, oh, I got to talk like this, I gotta act like that. That's just stupid.
I feel like that kind of, that is like a remnant of colonization, because even like my Nigerian friends, it's like when I speak to them, they'd be like, oh, you're talking white, and it's like, to speak clear proper English or like to just speak anything is like,
because like that's
how is that
it's considered
it's considered
like the same you go to like
like
Sierra Leone, and like obviously like people speaking Creole, which is just like Sierra Leone's version of Pidgin, and like I can hear it perfectly. I can listen to it perfectly, and I can speak it. It's just because when I was over there, I was shy and I didn't talk to nobody, so I just didn't talk. And like whenever I speak it, I just don't have the accent, and people are just like, "Oh, fuck you." Like fuck you, like they're the main reason why I just like got more shy, because like what's the point of like trying if people are just gonna be like, nah, you fucking you sound white, and then just like putting you down. There's no need to be like pushing your own people as well down. Like that's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. Like
I feel
that shit hits different.
Like that's kind of
it's like a weird form of like classism kind
of. It
is. Because it's fully self-imposed. Like it's like. It's like saying, it is kind of the same thing when people are like, say somebody from a poor area makes a lot of money, and then they're like, oh, you're acting posh now or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or just like say like if you're like, you grew up in like the South Side, and then people just be like, oh, you're big pushy because you're like just from the South Side, which is like, you can understand the sentiment, but like it's also not true, and the vice versa happens as well when like people from like the South Side just like there are people. I'm obviously not gonna name names, but I literally like know somebody.
Do people not go to the North Side because they're afraid?
I think they're just too comfortable in their own spot, which is just fucking stupid. Like somebody legitimately, I asked for my friends, I sat them down, and I was like, I'm going to name places, and I'm gonna name places, and they're either in the North Side or I have made them up. You didn't get a single one right. You did not get a single one right. You don't get a single one right.
That's mad.
I was saying Kumines. I was saying Consilla. I was saying Stony Batter. They laughed at Stony Batter. I was like, what are you doing?
That's in town.
And that's what I said.
That's so weird. I've never heard of someone from the South Side being that sheltered.
Stop. No, like you'd be surprised.
Not even from the South Side.
What even is on the South Side? You gotta go mountains.
Hey, but don't hang on the mountains. Shout out to TikTok. Can we shout out to TikTok? Hey, shout out to Dundrum Top Shopping Center. Big up yourself. Hey, yo, Leafy Valley, big up yourself. But no, it's mad. So I said something about like Cabra to somebody. I looked at me like I was talking about some Spanish place. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, please, just stop.
Yeah, just Cabra.
Like I can understand it. I was young. I didn't have no. There was a time when I came back here, I literally only knew the people around here. I didn't know no better.
You came here from.
Yeah, but like I came from a different country. You live here. I shouldn't be knowing more about like Ireland than somebody who's been here like their whole life. Like I've been here like 15 years of my life, in here, and I'm out here like with people who were born and bred, ain't ever set foot in Blanche. Like that made no sense to me, man.
That's crazy.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like it just annoys me because not only are you trapped inside your own country and trapped inside like your own county, bro, you haven't even left out. You haven't left D16.
Yeah.
You haven't left D4.
Right, shout out to the 32 boys, those two.
Hey, big up yourself.
You have been watching Korpse Talks
No,
with me. Alright, you've been watching Korpse Talks with me, Kian, and
I'm with love.
And we hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for listening.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Big up Pippa!
Big up! Tap the bell icon to stay notified. And share to your friends.
It's not on YouTube.
Don't worry about it. Bro, get this to 50 likes. Get this to 50 likes and I'll euthanize. Let's go!
Oh my god.